Hi Mary, welcome to the hot seat. Thank you for joining us this morning. The reason you're in the hot seat today is because I was so intrigued after asking you how you got on your recent holiday on MSC Europa in the yacht club. You said it was one of your best holidays of all time. And when a CEO of one of the biggest travel companies in Ireland says that was the best holiday they've been on, I'm intrigued to know more. So tell us more so that I can learn more and our customers can learn more. You do.
And it was absolutely spectacular, NASA, really spectacular. But before I go into my holiday, I suppose what I want to say, well, first of all, I'm delighted to be working with you. NASA started with me in 1995 when I started my business. And I know you were only 5 and I was 10. And was with me for 15 years. And so it's great to have you back again, NASA.
It's great to be back. Thank you.
So I think it's very important to say about the travel suite TourAmerica Cruise Holidays that really what our benefit is that there's a cruise for everyone, and we're really good. We've been on all the cruise ships, and so to identify what a customer really wants. So for example, as you know, we had Silver Seas in here the other day, so that's very high end for couples, suite class. So it's to be able to know what ship suits everyone, and there is a ship for everyone. But I was very fortunate. I was on MSC World Europa, and I was in the yacht club, which is like a ship within a ship. In the yacht club, first of all, there's about 6,700 passengers on board, approximately 2,400 staff, 2,300 cabins, different types of cabins. And in the yacht club then, I think it's about 350 passengers, so it's very exclusive. You get a key, you have to use the key pad to get in, and you have your own pool area, you have your own sun deck area, you have a couple of sun deck areas, you have your own private restaurant, which is the specialty restaurant. You can have your breakfast out on the patios, you can have breakfast in your room, anywhere on the ship actually. If you have a balcony cabin, you can
because there's butler service as well.
It's 24-hour butler service. So when I paint the picture, it was just amazing. And I think I have been on MSC Yacht Club before, but this ship is spectacular. So I flew into Barcelona. I was on a 6:10 flight, got into Barcelona at 11:10, I think. It was about a 20-minute taxi ride, €45 flat fee. Got to the port, and there's the area with the yacht club. No queue, you have your butler waiting, hi Mary, and there were 2 groups of us, and you're brought straight onto the ship. And we sat and had our lunch in the yacht club.
Well,
the same day.
Well,
everybody else is doing it. Well, I tell you now, I'll be quite honest, I met so many people on the ship, and what this ship was fantastic for was, I went to the buffet, and it is the most beautiful buffet I've ever seen on any cruise ship. The dining area for the rest of the ship was outstanding, like really high end. The decor was brilliant. So the design is done by one of the wives of the owners. It's owned by an Italian family, and you can really see that attention to detail. Also, just to point out, like there are 7 pools, swimming pools, 13 jacuzzis. I mean, imagine a ship with 7 pools on it.
So it's a massive resort. Like what really attracts me to it, and this is my understanding of it, is that when you're staying in the yacht club, it's kind of like you get this small ship experience, but on board and with the choice and the options on board, a much bigger resort. So you can have the best of both worlds, which to me just sounds ideal. You can have Broadway shows, you can have all of the myriad of restaurants that they have, and I know MSC are known for some of the best food at sea. But you can also retreat to your own, yacht club or your own area as well, so you can have the best of both worlds.
We didn't book any of the shows, right? And so if you're in the yacht club, they have a special allocated area for you. So they have seats reserved. So we said, we'll go to some shows, which were like, it's like going to Bord Gosh here. So if you think about it, those tickets are probably 135. You went to Dublin. That's included. All your alcohol, champagne, prosecco, wines, gin and tonics, everything. All the soft drinks, coffees, like I love my lattes. They were all included. So that was great. And then there were shows everywhere on the ship. So we went to the 80s, because I'm kind of an 80s kid, and that was brilliant. And there was, it was just the shows they put on are outstanding. Like amazing. But what I loved is I tapped into this world, I tapped back into that world, and I found it very relaxing. And I brought my 15-year-old son. I never saw him in a week. I never saw him at the airport coming home.
I mean, for him, that's brilliant.
There was a slide from the top deck to the bottom. There were slides. There was roller skating, there was bumping cars. He got the fun pass, himself and his pal. So they were on these, what are they called? The machines where you play the games.
The slot machines.
No, not the slot machines.
Oh yeah, because they're not 18 or 21.
But so they had a great time. Now, what I did differently this time, I really enjoyed the whole experience of the ship. We went out of Barcelona. We organised a private transfer in Marseille to Paddy McKillen, an Irishman's Chateau Lacoste.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was out of this world. It was about a 2-hour walk around the whole vineyard and all these amazing art pieces. I'd say there was about €1 billion worth of art.
Wow.
And then they had a Michelin star restaurant. I didn't go to that. I'd love to have, but when you have two 15-year-olds, you waste your money. But they had beautiful restaurants, and it was the most fantastic experience. Then got our private transfer back. And that's very easily done. And then we went into Rome, and that was brilliant. Again, did a private transfer into Rome. And the driver was fantastic. He brought us to the Vatican, and we were in the city, and we did all the fun things and had a beautiful lunch there. And I think the place that really I was very taken by was Malta. And I got off and I walked around. It was full of culture, loved it. And of course I was there last week, and the weather was, it wasn't splitting with the sun, but it was just lovely. It was fantastic. So I found it very relaxing. In the cabin, I put a lot of stuff up on Instagram, which I don't really know how to use now, as you know. But when I was in the room, like you have. So just to paint the experience of what you get when you go into the yacht club, you have lovely dressing gowns and slippers. You have a fridge stocked with minerals, beer, whatever, they stock that every day. You get a complimentary either bottle of champagne or a bottle of gin left in your room, all the water you want. There's an espresso machine. Of course, you've got the 24-hour service. You want breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever, they'll bring it to your room. They have a hairdryer in the room. The shower was amazing. Oh, do you know what was amazing? The bed. And I actually had the best night's sleep ever. And do you know something, Nasa? You can buy the mattress and the pillows. It's that popular, so they got that attention detail really well. The cabin was very big, so my son and his pal were in an inside cabin that was smaller. For me, perfect. I don't want him in as good a cabin as I'm in. He's to earn that. So I think it's very good for families. You can take some inside cabins. They're about half the price. He was right across from our cabin. There was no alcohol. We could keep an eye on him. And then we met for dinner every night. Now we went to the Tapanaki one night, specialty restaurant.
That looked amazing.
That's like a show.
Where they cook, in front of you.
It's brilliant, and it's well worth doing that. There were loads of different specialty restaurants. I was just very happy with the one that we were in, because you pay extra for the specialty restaurants. It's about $35. Certainly worth experiencing. And then they kind of have a shopping mall, like a Dundrum, down the bottom. It was just spectacular, and there's this coffee shop I used to sit and think and just sit outside, and you're watching the world go by. You felt like you're in a park. So it was spectacular. The other thing I was very taken by is there is actually 1 or 2 smoking bars, so if someone really wants to smoke. I don't like smoke, but I did notice it's at the back of the ship, and it's so you wouldn't notice it's going on, but I hadn't noticed that before when I was on.
Well, it sounds amazing. And definitely, just when you mentioned there all of the different shopping and the pools and it's really like a city at sea, a small city or a small town city. Because a lot of people think I'll be stuck on a boat. It's still some people's perception, which couldn't be more from the truth at the moment.
You open your curtains every morning and you look out. I actually used to leave my door open. I loved hearing the waves. And then I'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'd see we're just going into a port. Oh, it was beautiful. So you normally arrive about 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you leave either 5 or 6. Now here's the tip. If you're going on your own excursion, do not miss the ship, because the ship will not wait for you. So if they say they're leaving at 5, you've got to be on at 4:30. And
that's why we always recommend that. Well, in a lot of cases that the ship's excursions are taken as well, because then they can't leave without you, or they have to pay to get you to the next port.
Exactly, and it's very expensive. But look, just to give you an idea, because I was looking at this for a client who's interested in going in September. I mean, we have a great deal on the Yacht Club in September.
Yeah,
I think it's
saw
about
that.
3,700 or
God,
3,800. That's for the cabin. And if you think about that, for me, it was like your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You start totting those up. That's a lot of money.
And your
all your
board
entertainment
tickets for the entertainment. And all of your drinks,
Yeah.
and especially if you like some nice champagne and things like that, it can definitely, it
was outstanding now, and I want to say a big thank you
value.
to Antonio as well from
From
MSC.
MSC.
He's so supportive to the Irish market.
Yeah, no, he really is.
Yeah.
He really is. Well, thanks a million, Mary.
Thank you, Nessa.
Thanks for sitting in the hot seat today, and we'll have you back on your next trip. Where is that going to be? Do you think?
My next trip, I'm waiting to. I've just come
I heard
off
Japan
Princess
was
last
on
week.
the-
I'd love to see Japan.
Yeah, yes.
But what I really like about any of us going on trips, like we had Jasmine on a river cruise as well, is that
Yeah.
we share
We do,
all the
yeah.
experiences, because it's great to give you the tips. Like for example, they use European and American plugs
Yeah.
on MSC Europa, and they have the little connections. What do they call when you connect your iPhone? They're beside your bed.
Oh, the USB.
Yeah, and
and
the
the
lighting was
connections.
amazing as well.
Yeah.
All the lighting, it was fantastic.
So these are the things that you find out that you don't really get when you're looking on the website and stuff like that.
No,
so the
yeah.
real insiders tips.
Well, people
So
want
thanks
to
a
know
million.
that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Nelson.
they definitely
Thank you.
do. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks.